Hey guys, it's JD from Ponzel World, and today we're unboxing and reviewing this laptop stand made by SENYERGIANT. Now this is a $38 laptop stand that you guys can find on Amazon. Links will be down below this video if you want to go, of course, pick this thing up. And guess there's not really much more to say about it, so let's go ahead and just hop right into showing you around the box. Now this is a pretty basic box. There's really nothing to it at all, other than the Amazon label right there. If you want to take a look at that, there you go. And other than that, nothing else to it, so let's go ahead and open it up. All right, there it is right there, all folded up. And it doesn't come with any instructions, but it's pretty basic to use. Not really much to it. So I'm take it out of the bubble wrap here. And here it is. Actually feels very nice. Made out of, I think, aluminum. Let's go in and unfold it here. Looks like you pull here. Not really sure. It has to be pretty stiff and able to not, give out when a laptop is on it. So maybe you just really have to force it. Anyways, I'm going to mess with it for a second, try to get it unfolded. Alright, so I went ahead and figured out how to get this thing to actually move. Pretty much you just have to really pull on it. I would assume this is because they're kind of expecting you to put something heavy on it, such as, well, like a laptop, which I'll be trying that out in a little bit. I have a very heavy, pretty thick too, Dell laptop, gaming laptop, that I'll just put on here just to make sure it doesn't, start to fold down, or even just to make sure it stays on there. But that's the thing, you just have to pull really hard to get it up, and you have to push really hard to get it to fold back. And that leads me on to my next thing here. If you're going to be putting this thing in maybe a book bag often, maybe for school, it's going to be kind of a pain in the butt, to fold back up. You really have to put a lot of force on this thing to get it to move. You can see, like right here, it doesn't really want to move. I'm sure this will get better over time the more you wear down the, I guess the hinge mechanism kinda. But anyways, there it is. So that's one thing that I don't really care about, is how much force you have to put in, but it's understandable because, if you put a heavy laptop on here, with it being this stiff, it won't, fold down. Hopefully not, at least. Anyways, I'll go grab a couple of laptops, go in and try it out. All right, so first of all, I want to start out light. So I'm gonna go ahead and grab my 2013 MacBook Air here. This is a very light laptop and also relatively thin. So let's just go ahead and put it on here. And boom, there you go. It's not collapsing or anything like I would expect. Or I wouldn't expect it to collapse, so that's what I'm trying to say. Let's go ahead and open it up here. There you go. You have the keyboard down here, and then obviously the screen over here off frame. Nice. All right, there it is. Next, what I'm going to do, I'm going to set down the MacBook here, and I'm actually going to grab another MacBook. This one right here. Now, this is a much bigger one, much more heavy. This is a 2009 MacBook Pro. You can see, much thicker. Let's go ahead and put it on here. And again, not collapsing, so that is good. Let's go ahead and open it up. And obviously, like the other MacBook, you have a keyboard down here, then the screen over there. No issues. It's holding it perfectly fine. Let's go ahead and tilt this a little bit to make sure it doesn't just, slide off or something when it's at an angle. And it's gonna take some force here. Let's go and set this this laptop down. And let's go in and pull this up here. Yeah, man, just does not want to move. That might actually be as far as it goes. I don't think so, though. I think it's just really stubborn. There we go. See, it just takes a lot of force. Okay, so with the 2013 MacBook Air, it has no issues because of it being so thin. But I just want to see, again with the thicker laptop here. And yeah, absolutely no issues. Still holding it in perfectly fine. Good. And now let's go ahead and get the real test here, which is my Dell gaming laptop. This one is definitely heavier than the MacBook that I just showed, and definitely a little bit thicker. You can see there it's pretty thick. Let's put it on here, and it's holding it. Awesome. Let's open the screen up. It's actually on, but that's all right. And yeah, it's not falling off the front here, even with it at this pretty extreme angle here, and it's not collapsing either under the pressure or under the weight. Let's go ahead and tilt this a little bit just to show you. It's going to put it back on here and open it up. It's actually kind of wanting to fall back now. Yeah, it is. Oh yeah, check that out. Okay, so that's because it's at more of an angle going down. So if you have it at an angle going down, a heavy enough laptop, it's gonna have the tendencies to flip back. Okay, well, either way, it's holding it. It's doing good. I wouldn't have it back like this anyways. I would have it more flat. And I think that's what the average consumer would do. You can see it's back a little bit. I'm sure when it's flat, it's not gonna have that issue. There we go, that's more flat. Let's try this once more. And still, yeah, it's still wanting to flip back. Okay, and this is actually overhanging a little bit off the back. Okay, so yeah, if you have a heavy enough laptop, and if it's long enough, and you have it flat like this, it's going to have the tendency to flip backwards if you're not careful. This is completely usable as it is, but you have to be pretty careful. If you touch up here too much, it'll just flip back. So yeah, that's something definitely to note if you're going to buy this. If you have a big and heavy laptop, might not work the greatest. So there it is. That's the only flaw so far with this thing. Again, that how stiff, I guess, the hinges are. That's really, it is what it is. I don't count that as a flaw. I think that's more just so then it doesn't collapse under, you know, pressure from like a heavy laptop, which I just tested out and it didn't do. So that's pretty impressive. Let's go in and just fold it down here, just to show you guys how much pressure it takes. It's quite a bit, but then when it's folded up, it's relatively thin. And then opening it up it's gonna be a pain. Yeah, there we go. It's a little bit easier now than it was the first time. Dear Lord. Yeah, there we go. And then it's folded back out. Mostly, there we go. So there it is. So that's really it for this laptop stand. There's not really much to it, so it's not going to be a very long video. Anyways, guess what I'm going to do now is go and stop this clip and give you guys my final opinions. Alright, so overall, what do I think of this laptop stand? I would say if you have a thin or at least light laptop, this thing would be pretty good. For example, with my gaming laptop over there, you guys saw it's very heavy. I can't show that on camera, obviously, but it's definitely heavy in real life and pretty thick. And the weight really doesn't affect the hinges, and neither the thickness doesn't really affect anything. But it's more of the length, I guess. It's overhanging on the back of here, and that's making it want to flip backwards. If you have this plate here, I guess you could call it flat. If you have this pointed forward a bit more like that, it's absolutely not going to flip back, and it's not going to fall off the front either. I'll just again show you guys, which I was kind of surprised. I was expecting, since the laptop is so thick, maybe it'll have a tendency to fall off the front. It doesn't seem to. Yeah, it's going to like hit it down here just to see. Yeah, no, it's not falling off the front at all. And you can see now it doesn't want to flip back either. So yeah, if you're going to have this thing at like a flat angle and you have a heavy laptop, this is not going to work really well. It might flip back easily, might damage your laptop or something. So if you have a thin, light laptop, this thing is great. Even like the MacBook Pro that I had, it probably worked fine on there too, but like this, you know, thick and heavy gaming laptop, it's just gonna have a tendency to flip back. For me, I would mainly probably use it with the MacBook Air, and in that case, it seems worth it. It definitely seems very high quality, very well built, I have to say. Really like these little sticky pads here. I guess they're really not sticky, but just grippy, I guess you could say. And the hinges, again, those are pretty tight. That could be a pain if you're folding this thing up all the time. But for me, like, I would just leave this on my desk and have my MacBook on it. For that, it would work perfectly fine because, you know, not having to mess with the hinges all the time. So there it is. I would recommend it, again, if you have a thin and light laptop. So yeah, I guess that's really it for this video. Hope everybody enjoyed, and don't forget to like and subscribe. I'll see y'all next time. Goodbye.